The next question. The hardest part of training. I'll let you start with this because I have my answer that I know. Because
I love this question.
Yeah, I know what the hardest part is. But let you start.
It's the accountability outside of our sessions.
Oh, I never thought about that.
That is the hardest thing.
That wasn't even my answer, but that's a great answer.
The biggest problem you'll run into as a trainer or a coach in any field, doesn't even have to be fitness related, is why aren't I getting results? Why, like, this is your fault. But have we really looked into what you're doing outside of when I'm with you?
Exactly.
So, like, it's our job to give you a blueprint and hold you accountable when you're with us, when you're not with us. But are you actually holding yourself accountable when you're not with us is the real question. Like, I don't know what your process is, but when I get a new client at Equinox or even outside of Equinox, I'm programming for them in person and I'm programming for them outside of our sessions. So if they train with me twice a week, I'm making them 2 days to do on their own, very dumbed down and simple, just so they'll follow it. But at the same time, I'm not there holding their hands, throwing them along, saying, okay, like, let's do this while you're by yourself. Because when they're by themselves, I'm working with another person. So it's a tough concept because you want your client to get to the highest level they can. But it's like, do you both want it as bad as you say you want it?
Yeah.
I know I do.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do too. Like
100%.
The best part of our job is like taking a person from square one and then 3 months down the road looking at them and saying you're a totally different person.
Yeah.
Does that happen all the time right away? Probably not. And it probably has a lot to do with the fact that the accountability outside of that session is not there. But I get it. It takes a lot of time for some people to actually like buckle down and say, let me take this seriously and get going by myself. So I'll let you kind of expand on what you're thinking.
No, absolutely. I think I didn't even think of that because what I was going to say was to keep them consistent. Like, because I get a lot of people, since you're at a gym, they have to have a membership there. So even if they're not working with you, they still have an opportunity to go to that gym and you still have, you know what I mean? And they know how to use that gym because you train them in that gym.
Yeah.
Whereas here, I don't have an open membership policy where people can just come in and lift whenever they want to. So I don't know whether they can tell me all day that they're going to a gym outside of coming to me. Do I know that for a fact? No, I don't. So I don't program them for inside the gym and outside the gym because majority of my clients do come 2 or 3 times a week with me. Only a few small percentage come once a week. But so I don't really I don't program them for outside the gym, but the hardest part for me is to make sure that they stay consistent when they're not with me, not with me. And you put it in a way better form than I was going to put it because, like you said, the best part about it is starting them phase 1 and then getting them to a point where, at least in my opinion, I don't want to be with them forever, right? Like it's like to know you're doing what you're supposed to do is you progress them to feel comfortable enough going to a gym or going to wherever they go and being able to lift by themselves and being comfortable lifting by themselves and not needing somebody there looking over them, correcting form, making sure everything's going well. That's how you know you're doing your job right. But it's hard to do that when, if I do only see a person once a week, you know how long you got to work with somebody if they're only coming to me once a week to get them to a point where they are able to go and be comfortable by themselves at the gym. So your aspect is a little bit different because you can see whether or not they're coming to the gym outside of training sessions with you, whereas with me, it's harder. So that was always the hardest part. And I try to nail it in people's heads. Like, I only can control what's going on in here. When you leave this place, I'm not texting you and calling you all day, making sure you're eating what you're supposed to eat, getting your steps in, getting enough sleep, doing all the things you need to do that creates a healthy lifestyle. Not just like, this is the easiest part, man. Coming in here and training and doing certain movements that I ask you to do is the easiest part. Changing your lifestyle is the hardest part, at least for yourself. Maybe not in my shoes because I don't have as much control over that, but getting people to really buy into the entire process of a lifestyle change is very difficult in my opinion. But you put that way better than I was going to put it because accountability is huge, and some people don't react or respond to telling them that well. It's like they take it as like an insult where it's like, no, it's just the reality. You need to work outside of being with me. I'm only a very small percentage of being of your lifestyle change. You need to do what's necessary outside of working with me to get where you want to be. So that's the hardest part. It's a great point.